Today we're continuing our conversation with Maria Dolores. She's been developing the idea of a thrivable global democracy. So we're going to hear about how that concept came to be and also what we all need to know.
What is really the core of humanity? What is really the core? We talked about leadership, and we interviewed, like, I think it was about 70 different leaders, asking them what do you see is today's challenges, and what do you see, what is the future leadership? And the answer we got, many of them, we can reconnect to the human values, the very basic human values, that we're all humans, we're all unique, and we also have the same, we're all equally worth. And we sometimes mix this up, right? Because we think we are so competitive, and we compete with each other, and we're not collaborating as much as we can, because we live with this concept that we're in a limited, there's limitations, and there's not enough.
Yeah, let me just jump in because, you're saying about the collaboration, and I hear exactly what you're speaking to there. It's very easy to get kind of caught up in collaborating just to the extent that you know that it benefits like yourself or oneself. And it's so easy to lose focus that there are other people involved in everything that we do ripples out from there. So speak to that a little bit more. Tell us, what do you believe is at that core of humanity?
Göran and I, we started to look at the human rights. And Göran said, well, human rights is one aspect, but without the obligations, there's no balance. If we only have human rights, then, and no obligation, if we look at only the right to freedom and the right to express yourself, then, everyone can, as if I give you like an image, everybody can stand with their megaphone and yell, and nobody's listening. So we need to have the other aspect of also listening. So we all have the right to freedom of expression, but we also have the obligation to listen. Everybody wants to love, everybody wants to belong. And if we have those foundation, that foundation, then on that foundation, if we look at the human rights, it's only 6 aspects that are really about what it's about to be the core of humanity. And it's about, first, the freedom of the body, and also, so your right to have your right for your body, but you also the obligation to take care of your body. We have the right to our feelings, and we also have the right to express our feelings, but we also have the obligation to not to, burst out our feelings and to act always on our feelings, which can be challenging as a human. And we have the right to our thoughts and the freedom of our thoughts, but also the obligation to question our thoughts. As humans, we can think beautiful things, and we can think crazy things, and to be really crazy, but we also have the obligation to question what we really think. And we have the freedom and the right to move and move around in the world, but we also have the obligation to just as a car, we have the right to drive a car, especially in America, right? You all have the right to drive the car,
Yeah.
but you also have the obligation to follow the rules and the system that you're in. And equally with the freedom of movement, you also need to have the obligation to listen into the culture that you are in. We also have the communication, but in our internet society, there's a lot of, if you look at human rights on internet, there's a lot about freedom of speech. When you Google it, it almost seems as if it's the same, and it's not so surprising really, but it's like I said before, if we all have our megaphone, we also have the obligation to listen. So we made it the rights and the to communicate, and communication is a two-way street, right? And the last one, the rights and the obligation of life. So I think just because we're born as humans, where we have the right to just live the life we want. If we want to live with a woman, or if we want to live with a man, or if we want to live just with a pet, or and however we want to live our lives, we should have the right to live that way, but also the obligation to respect others' lives. And this is where the other aspect where you talked about what we need to know. I think we need to know about what I call istima. Istima is a word that I lended from a language called Kenya, and istima means learning. So whenever we're out, we sort of have this integrity bubble around us, and whenever we take too little space or too much space, then we're out of integrity. So we either make ourselves small as humans, or we take over others' responsibilities. And wherever we're in or out of integrity, we're off balance of integrity, then we create istima. And istima is, it means learning, but it's creating psychological pain. So we're creating psychological pain both for ourselves and for others whenever we, as humans, make ourselves small, or if we take over others' responsibilities. And life is just learning how to take our rightful space and our rightful place in life.